Today, we're going to talk a little bit about how we've seen it affect what we do and the pros and the cons of it from our perspectives, right?
Yeah.
So,
creativity and photography in the age of AI. It's got a nice ring to it. I am excited to talk about this. I'm Gen X.
Yeah.
You're an Xennial.
Yes.
You're like on the cusp.
But I'm like really a boomer when it comes to technology. Let's be real.
I love that.
A wedding couple pays you once.
A corporate client pays you for years or even decades.
It's time to leverage your creativity, knowledge, and experience in a whole new market.
Hi, I'm Don.
I'm Emily.
And we're the Mamonies.
Welcome to Hocus Pocus,
the magic behind your wildly successful studio.
We've spent the last 20 years building a system to dominate the corporate market,
so we could exceed our clients' expectations from Dallas to destinations around the world.
Now we're sharing all of our secrets with you,
so you can build a life and business you truly want, doing what you really love.
Okay,
on with the show.
Are we testing?
Sure. Test, test, test.
Test, test, test. It's been a while.
It has been a while. You haven't had your clacky thing in a hot minute.
12 episodes so far?
12 episodes.
Oh my goodness. I can't even.
Time flies.
It does fly.
It's remarkable because it's back to school time starting Wednesday. And I feel like we started this before school got out.
Yes.
Or like right around the time school got out. And you look back on it and you're like, what happened to summer?
It just flies.
It's just gone.
Very, very quickly.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
It was a really good one. A lot of work, a lot of play.
Yeah.
Trying new and different things, which is always scary.
Yes.
What are we going to talk about today?
Man, this is a touchy subject, but I'm so excited to kind of dig into it because recently we had a friend ask us, is corporate photography affected by the surge of AI?
Oh, AI. The two most prominent letters in the alphabet right now.
Absolutely. And
AI.
so today we're going to talk a little bit about how we've seen it affect what we do and the pros and the cons of it from our perspectives, right?
Yeah.
So
creativity and photography in the age of AI. It's got a nice ring to it. I am excited to talk about this. I'm Gen X.
Yeah.
You're an Xennial.
Yes.
You're like on the cusp.
But I'm like really a boomer when it comes to technology. Let's be real.
I love that. I love that for you.
Yeah.
I love that for me because I'm happy to be your tech support. You're right. You are a boomer when it comes to technology. Right. Ironically, I'm super techie.
Yes, you are very techie. And you find enjoyment and discovering new things.
I do, but it's funny because I was a super late adopter to AI.
Were you?
I was. So almost 6 months ago, I guess it was, I hadn't even touched ChatGPT. In fact, I've never used ChatGPT. I've used some services that I think at one point or another used ChatGPT, but I think I was a late adopter because as Gen X, I've seen the Terminator.
Right.
And all these dystopian visions of artificial intelligence and what it could do and what it could mean. And let me be candid, I didn't necessarily think that if
Westworld,
all of it. I don't necessarily think that I believed that Skynet would happen and that Terminators would come destroy the world if I used ChatGPT. I think that it's because all the people that were talking about it generatively.
Right.
And in creativity. I'm like, I don't need something to help me be creative. I don't need something to generate stuff for me.
Right.
You and I create content. But the minute I started to learn that AI was capable of helping you do things in an agentic fashion. Look, can I talk nerd for 1 second?
Yeah, talk nerd.
Okay, so I've learned...
Don talks nerd to me all day long, and I'm just like...
You just smile and nod.
Okay, baby.
You just smile and nod.
And what was that again? What did you say?
So as I understand it, there's 3 different types of AI. There's generative, there's agentic, and there's predictive. Most people are used to generative.
Right.
You ask it for something, and it gives it to you.
like a Google search or something.
It's basically like a
Yeah.
fancy Google search. And then there's agentic, which means you can task it to do stuff and it generates output for you.
Yeah.
And then predictive, which I don't even know that much about. That's really only like available from what I understand in like enterprise areas. But the minute we went from sort of generative or creative to agentic, I was all in because I was suddenly like, okay, so this can help me as an entrepreneur run my business.
Yes.
But I think what's really interesting is in creative industries, there's a lot of people that are saying that AI is either going to destroy the industry, take away their jobs, take away their business. And I agree that it will change things.
Yeah.
But I don't agree that it'll necessarily like destroy it all.
Yeah.
Bring it all, burning to the ground. So I think that's what we get to talk about today.
Yeah.
Creativity and what AI can do for us, how it's going to shift our business. I mean, let's be candid. Like in the 90s, there were people that were like, this internet thing is stupid.
Yeah.
And I think weeks later, days later, whatever it was, they were like, okay, so the internet's here to stay.
Yeah, we need to get on board. Which is a funny saying that Don and I both love to use when like some awkward moment is happening or our friends are getting in a little squabble and then we'll joke, we're like, hey, the internet's here to stay.
Let's talk about the internet.
So now we're like, the AI's here to stay.
Yeah.
So.
It's an interesting thing because I think things are going to shift substantially.
Yeah.
But I think that there's benefit to it. I think just like any other tool, we need to use it and we need to use it responsibly.
Yeah.
But I think that...
And don't let it take over all the aspects of whatever you're creating, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, a lot of what I find negative about it and just being a consumer, and I do a lot of design work.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things I noticed, I was very curious. I'm like, let's educate myself. So everybody loves to use Canva,
Mm-hmm.
right? And Canva's a great resource for somebody who doesn't know how to use Illustrator, which is the big one of the big giants of creating graphics and things like that. And so Canva, I love it for everyday use, but you can tell when something's been created in Canva if you're familiar with Canva,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so you'll be looking at people's ads on a social media platform. You're like, oh, they created that
In Canva.
because those elements are the same. And so we're seeing in my eye, I'm seeing a consistent, like as I'm looking at an artistic piece that's been made or something like that on Instagram, I'm like, oh, they used AI because it all has a similar look.
Yeah.
And because it's interesting because of that, that's why I feel like old school graphic designers are going to have a lead and they're going to prevail over the top of this AI because they're going to look different and they're going to be creating content from scratch from their brain where it's not all glued together by the machine.
You make a great point. So in a world where more people are using Canva and more people are either using templates and or using a prompt.
Which are great. I totally use templates too, but I change it up, you know?
So they're either using a template or using AI to create a marketing piece, which means there's a lot of uniformity and there's only so much sort of like deviation. It actually makes it maybe a little easier for you to differentiate yourself.
Yes.
Because if everybody else is using these templates and this AI prompt and you use something else, it's a little easier maybe even differentiate yourself. I think the struggle that creative entrepreneurs might have right now is they want to be like, well, AI sucks because it's going to give people an opportunity that they didn't have before.
Right.
Therefore, it's going to take money out of my bank account, food off of my table. But I think if just like somebody might get used to using Canva as a designer because they want to provide that template to their client.
Yeah.
If you come along and say like, hey, I've used Adobe Illustrator for my whole life and I'm really good at it and it's amazing.
Right,
pinky out. Like I refuse to like resort to bring myself down to working in Canva, but a client has an expectation of getting a template that they can then update over time. Right. Then you could lose that business. And so I think it's important that our creative entrepreneurs listen to the fact that just saying no may not serve you well.
It's never a good idea in any field, really.
Being rigid and
Yeah.
saying like, no, there's no purpose for that, or there's
Yeah.
no use for that. It could get you in a little bit of trouble, right? I don't use, as you can imagine, we don't use AI to ever create a photo.
Right.
If we
Yeah.
need a photo, we'll go capture a photo, we'll find a photo,
Yeah.
we'll work that. It's against our design as a company
Yeah.
to use a photo that's been created by AI.
Yeah.
At the same time, there are tons of reasons that I use AI in our business now from a productivity standpoint versus a creativity standpoint.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So these are just our opinions too, right? So
Doesn't that make them right?
right?
No.
I struggled because it was funny. I went on this journey into Canva, AI assist there, and I'm like, we have Photoshop, we have Illustrator, we have all the tools through Adobe there. And so in Photoshop, when you're working on a photo there, you're doing some editing and stuff. If you don't know what you're doing when it comes to layering, it can be quite complicated and time consuming. And so I have taken some photos of my bandmates and I'm like, I know how to do it in Photoshop, but I'm like, I just want to create a line drawing outline of all the photos that I've taken. So I've taken original content and I'm like, let's try. And so it was this massively long YouTube tutorials because I had this certain vision that I wanted to have. And it took like 3 hours to generate this photo. And I'm like, this is not the best use of time. And so, I'm going to go over to Canva.
Yeah.
On Canva AI,
Yep.
and I'm going to take my photo that I took, and I'm going to ask it to create a line drawing. And it did it like that, 5 seconds later. But it looked like everything else.
Yeah.
It had no originality. And so then I'm like, okay, it asked me, well, what did you like about this? And I'm like, I don't like anything about this. And so I'm like, but I had the language to be like, add, pencil stroke textures and things like that. And after a while, I got to what I wanted it to look like, which I could, after the 3 hours in Photoshop. And, but then what was great was like, oh, okay, now just every time I take a photo, I can, and then I want that look, the AI was like, I already know what, which was pretty cool.
What a great example of how you can use AI that's agentic and not creative. You didn't say like, I want you to create a photo of this and then create that.
It helped me eliminate a very long process.
Yeah.
And so it was great in that aspect. But I had to coach it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, the first thing it spit out, although it looked really cool, it looked like something you would see everybody else doing.
You've highlighted in tech.
Yeah.
Boomer. In tech, there's an actual term for this, and it's garbage in, garbage out.
Right.
And it has to do with every user interface, every database that's ever been created. And now with AI, the idea of a prompt.
Yeah.
If you have a crappy prompt, you're going to get a crappy product.
Right.
There are legions of people out there now that are literally writing prompt dictionaries and diaries and stuff. And now we're moving away from prompts from a perspective of it being critically important. But I've seen people doing YouTube videos and Instagram videos and TikTok videos on the value they still serve as a creative entrepreneur, a photographer, creating a brief or doing something with a photo, manipulating a photo, whatever it is. I'm going to use AI better than you're going to use AI.
Yeah.
So even
learn from me.
even if I'm the person that you hire as a custom designer and we use AI as a tool along with Illustrator or anything else. And so
because essentially if you start to think about it, Photoshop, Illustrator are all things that a computer is doing.
For sure.
Because you and I grew up in the darkroom.
Yeah.
And that is, as hands-on as it gets to developing your photo.
Still
of
mechanical.
How you want it to look.
Still mechanical though, right?
It's
so you're still using an enlarger and all the chemicals and everything. So there's always help. I think that it's a great point because even back in the dark ages of using film and all the chemicals and everything, you're still using tools to create the product. And this is a similar situation. I think that is an exceptional example of that idea.
So the person asked again, how is this affecting corporate photography? how's AI? And in the sense that they themselves had tried getting a headshot, a portrait, they needed an update with one for their work. And so they just took a crappy iPhone photo and asked AI, hey, make this look like such and such. But then again, it looked like everybody else's picture that was doing that, right? And how it didn't become them anymore.
Yeah.
And so why don't we talk about that? How do we see it affecting what we do?
I'll start with where you took us, and then I'll take us somewhere else.
Okay.
So I don't love the idea of AI headshots because there's no story behind it.
Yeah.
I heard somebody talking about this. They posted a photo of themselves. It's a reasonably good likeness.
Yeah.
The AI did a good job. And their child actually looked at the headshot and was like, oh, mommy, that's a great photo of you. Where was that taken?
Yeah.
And she basically had to say, well, it wasn't really taken, it was created. And I think for some people, they wouldn't care. They're like, it doesn't matter. I look good in that photo and that's cool. But I think for some people...
For us, it's like...
It is a little bit of a stab because...
a stab to the heart.
Because I feel authenticity matters.
Yeah.
I think it's going to matter more than ever because I think in a world full of things that are created and generated rather than captured and documented, there's a different feel. There's a different vibe. And so I think that there might be a bit of a surge with AI headshots and AI photography or generation, but ultimately I think it will come back. There will be a revenge. Yeah. I don't know if y'all can see, if you're watching this, not listening to it, behind us, we have a record player still.
Yeah.
And I'll tell a quick anecdote there. I don't listen to records because I'm a super audiophile. I don't listen to records because I think it sounds different and the pops and the hums, all that stuff's cool.
Yeah.
I like records because they're old school. They're media that I can own.
Yeah.
They're intentional.
Yes.
So like when you and I are making breakfast and Frankie's here getting ready for school, we typically make a habit of picking a record. We listen to it.
Let's take a moment. I woke up because our cat was being naughty all night and I was super grumpy.
You were super grumpy.
Pre-coffee.
Yep.
So Don put on...
I put on the Sting soundtrack from the movie The Sting with Robert Redford.
Yeah.
And it's just got that piano playing, The Entertainer. It had a certain vibe to it and it kind of picked up our day. And you're listening to that album from start to finish, the way that the artist intended, the way they cultivated the songs rather than just whatever the algorithm offers up to you.
Right.
And that's why we have it. So I think there will be a bit of a revenge of authenticity, of capture. I think your point about the fact that everything's going to start to look the same.
Yeah.
Everything's going to kind of become an amalgamation of something else. But lastly, the thing that I think is most important, AI will not take away photography business in the live event space.
Right.
Weddings, corporate events, milestone events, things like that. There will be AI crowding.
Yeah.
Is what we're calling it.
And what do you mean by AI crowding?
Well, you and I talked about it because
photography.
And I think in photography and videography and in a lot of creative opportunities, there's, I think, spaces now where AI will do an exceptional job of creating a product photograph.
Yeah.
I saw some people doing some things around the FIFA World Cup that just wrapped. It was big here in Dallas because obviously there were a lot of stadiums, games that were played here at the stadium. I will say that if you want to take a Pepsi can and put it on the 50-yard line or the middle of the pitch and make it look like there's a crowd in the background, AI is going to do a pretty good job. Yeah. And if a company can save $100,000 and get that photo, they might be okay with it, especially for a while. Well, that means that those photographers, those creative entrepreneurs that were doing that work might be looking for more work. Yeah. And they might find their way into the wedding space, the corporate space. And all that means in our world is it just intensifies our two things that we talk about all the time. Yeah. Differentiation. Yes. And diversification. Yes. How do I stand out? How do I let people know that the things that I create are not being created by everybody else or by an AI bot? And how do I say that I've got a little bit of business in a bunch of different kind of disciplines within the photography industry so that as we as a society figure out how AI integrates, if there's a drop in this kind of business, maybe there's a pickup in this kind of business. Absolutely. It's like being diversified in any other place in your life. And so you talk about that a lot. So like when you walk into a space, because you're such a creative lead in our business, you're like, okay, I want to get all the standard photographs that I know my client wants. And then you go off on this.
How do we create a unique scene from what they have built there.
Yeah.
Right. And so every stage lighting plan is different and all that stuff. So instead of taking your standard photos from the front of the stage, we're taking that moment, walk it, look at the lighting, see how things hit. And so we can deliver an image set that's unique to that stage. They may do the same stage setup all over, but everything is always different, right?
Well, and you have a way of seeing stuff that I think the natural casual eye wouldn't see.
Yeah.
And so, and this didn't start with AI. This started 20 years ago when everybody started carrying a camera in their pocket.
Sure.
Right. And the better iPhones got, and the better people sort of stumbled into photography as a hobby, or, we've got the people with their iPhones, and then we've got what we call the Uncle Bobs who show up and look at your camera and they're like, what you shooting with? And you're like, oh, it's a, Canon 5D Mark III. Oh, I have a Mark IV.
Yeah.
And they have the newest and the greatest.
Yeah.
And so you're always, I think, competing against other people's eye, which, I'll look over and you'll be like crawling between two things because you see a certain framing of the scene that someone else wouldn't.
Yeah.
And so there's always that drive in you as a creative to say, like, how can I capture this at a focal length,
right, with
a depth of field, with a creative framing that nobody else will create.
Yes.
Like,
yes, you nailed it right on the head. You're going to say everything I was going to say there.
Well, and that's what AI can't do.
Yeah. And we've been in the recent last year, some of the bigger stage that we've been working, they'll have an automatic camera that's set to the back that will follow whoever's on the stage. And you're like part of you is like, oh, but there's no way that they can get in there and capture at the different levels and stealing the moments in the crowd where somebody might be having an emotional reaction to what's being said on the stage. And so I feel like we are safe in our photography. I did mention like, hey, product photography is something we do see being affected because unless it's a very a big campaign ad or something like that, people's quick needs for like, hey, I just need this product up. They're finding that they can take a really great photo with their iPhone and then they're dropping that into AI. Hey, put this in a restaurant scene with fire in the background. And they're able to get a pretty awesome. But if you are skilled to seeing what that is, you're like, oh, they just put this photo into an AI scene.
And I think it's not going to be about capability.
No.
It's going to be about what the audience is willing to tolerate.
Right.
And so there's some point at which if you see an image...
They go to this restaurant and they're like, man, that burger does not look like that burger.
That does not look like that burger. And it's not in this restaurant or it's not in this kitchen. You can just... So you can sort of feel that inauthenticity and sort of the shortcut.
Yeah.
One thing I saw was Apple recently redid their animated logo for the opening of some of their shows. Yes. And they made it very clear that it wasn't AI.
Yeah.
They documented the behind the scenes of how they used glass cuttings, etchings of their Apple logo, and how a production team rotated it and shined gelled lights on it in a way that created the different colors for this kind of spinning thing. And I think they said they spent six figures, over $100,000 capturing that. And it was important for them to know. And it makes...
And it's important to see, like, you remember that story.
I remember it because as an artist, I remember, but as a consumer, it was an intentional choice that someone, AI possibility was out there, but someone that creates content for a living, which is, Apple TV, said, we're not going to create all this unique and amazing content for you to watch and then kind of, create this kind of superficial AI generated logo animation. Right. So a cool thing and kind of I think a reinforcement of the fact that I think that this will ebb and flow. And you and I have kind of ridden the ups and downs of entrepreneurship for 20 years now. Yeah. The sustainability of it is to be aware and to be fluid.
To learn from it.
Yep.
Don't resist it.
Yeah.
Which is a lot for me to say.
Well, I don't think yours is resistant. It's just strength bucket. It's just not your jam, which is why we work so well together.
And for me, I do a lot of logo design. I do it with our music industry stuff, and we do it with photography and our clients and stuff with that. And so we're finding that people are wanting more of the original look
Yeah.
of a line drawing. My mom's amazing. Kathy's an amazing line artist. And so I go to her, I'm like, hey, my client wants this look. She does a sketch out.
Yep.
I take a photo of it. I get it into Illustrator, which then is being touched by the computer gods.
Yeah.
And we manipulate it. And so it becomes a vector, and then it goes into all this, into the computer world. But it's original thought and art
Yeah.
that people's eyes are attracted. And so if you're working on stuff for social media, and we all do this, where you're just scrolling down, and when it's all been created by AI, your eye literally just
Looks right past it.
goes right past it.
Yep.
But you take a minute and you're like, oh, same thing was happening before AI was really strong. Canva, the
Yeah.
same designs, we're like, oh, everybody's doing this trend, and you're just flying by it. And so taking the moment for original thought, using AI to help you get there,
Yeah.
but creating it from your own perspective
Yep.
will catch people's attention.
I think somebody pointed it out. Like, you use AI like an employee, like a team member, like a
Yes.
staff member to help you along the creative process, but it doesn't originate with that. And so for your example, I think one of the ways that I've found it to be so efficient is if you're in that place and you're doing something new and different and you have this really creative idea, you may ask your AI agent, I'm really trying to create this. And rather than like searching it and sorting through a million YouTube videos or something like that, the AI system can really like serve up for you the process to create it in there. And that's what I use AI for a lot is, hey, I'm trying to do this thing in this software and I've never had to do it before. And maybe that's not what it's intended. Is there a way to do this?
Right.
Oh, sure there is. You just do this, this, and this. Now, all that being said, and for those of you that don't know, AI is not smart.
No.
AI
You
is
have to be
typically...
smart. You have to be the one that's smart to give it to the right information.
and even if you give it the right information, AI is a prediction machine. And if you ever want to learn more about that and go down that rabbit hole, that's why everything is tokenized. Every word is kind of segmented, because basically what it's doing is it's taking all of your words and it's predicting what you're looking for. This is remarkable. I watched a video about the fact that most AI large language models can't tell you how many R's are in strawberry.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's a trend going on.
And everybody's talking about it because they want you to understand that AI isn't smart. It's helpful. It's well-trained and all these things. Two of the things that we haven't talked about today that I think would maybe be a conversation for another day is the ethics of AI and the way in which it's used, created, and regulated.
Yeah.
I think that's above our pay grade for today, but we could always dig into that later.
The ethics of AI is huge.
It is huge.
And it'll be very controversial.
Very controversial.
In the artist world, music, all that stuff, it's there. Like people that are hiring for music or whatever, they don't want any of it because they can't source where the computer got it from. So they then get into these legal disputes. So
it's not only how it's used, but how it's created. So like there are plenty of people that are upset about the fact that these AI large language models and bots scraped the internet and took unique bodies of work, whether it be photography, all these type of things. Yeah. I hate that. I think it's terrible. I don't necessarily have an ethical stance on it at the moment. I feel like I used to get frustrated when I feel like people would look at our work online and see something that was originally captured, and then before you know it, everybody's hopping on that trend. And
so we have had that happen. So
it's on economies of scale, I think. If one person looks at our photography website and uses it as inspiration and then goes and does that thing, it's different than whenever you feel like a large language model is now serving it up or stealing it and using it. So there's that. And then there's also the environmental impact. I think it's just irresponsible of us not to mention
Boomer and Farmer Emily.
Yeah, you want to see it not destroy the world. Yeah. So I think that this is our little part at which we say that there are larger considerations than just using AI for everything all the time. There likely gets to be regulations around it to a certain degree, like internet has been hotly contested about making sure that everyone has access to it, helping people in more rural areas have it, having people in lower socioeconomic areas have it. So I think a lot of that is coming up. So are, of course, all the things with environmentalism and data centers and water use and all that. And all of that matters.
And copyrights.
And copyright information.
Huge part of this.
So all of that matters. I think today's conversation was about if you're going to use it, how to use it.
How to use it and how to not close your mind off to it, but use it in a constructive way, but keep yourself original in it. Right?
I think that is a great summary, right? How can you use it to support your business without it taking over the creative nature of what you do? I think that's a brilliant way to say it.
It's big for our brand to differentiate yourself from the market. So you don't want to be swept into the AI muck.
Yes. Well, muck is a great word. The common term for it is AI slop.
Slop. There you go.
You can see it, you can read it, you can feel it. And you know, I think customers, especially savvy ones, which is the ones you're going to work with when you're at the higher levels of investment and income, they can smell it. Like pig smells truffle, they'll hunt it out.
They don't want it.
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother episode we can dig into.
It's really remarkable because you've got environmental, ethical, legal. Yeah, we've already talked to Leah. We've already talked to Leah. She's on tap for the fall.
She'll talk about that legal stuff.
She'll talk about all the legal stuff for the photography and the creativity business. So we went a different direction today than we typically do. Yeah. And I think that's because you and I have been talking about it so much.
Well, and our friend just asked about it.
And then a friend asked about it. I think it's a very valid concern. So I think that it's important that you don't just turn an eye to it and be like, I'm not worried about it. I think it's also important not to worry about it like Chicken Little, the sky is falling. Yeah. And I think it's important to remain as fluid as you possibly can. To weather a storm like this takes a great deal of courage. Yeah. But the people that listen to this show are entrepreneurs and creatives. They're very used to. Yeah. They're not inexperienced when it comes to challenging uphill battles and uncertainty. And I think that that's one of the things we're facing. Yeah. And just as a photographer, just remember that your unique eye is what's going to beat this thing out, right? And you're there in person in these events, whether you're photographing a wedding or if you're doing a corporate or your client comes in and wants you to capture their family at a park or whatever. The machine cannot do that. Yeah. You do that. Yeah, there's no heart in it. So don't lose heart. Yeah. In that. Yeah. So you get to show up. And when you were talking about the conference side of it too, and anything that's like programmed or positioned to capture, it'll always miss the spontaneity. It will. It'll miss the emotion. It'll miss the moment because it doesn't know how to shift gears that fast. Right. And so it doesn't understand emotion. Yeah. Right. I think there's always going to be a place for unique capture. Yeah. I think that it's an age-old battle. Funnily enough, we could go all the way back to when photography first started. Yeah. Artists were irritated because of the photo capability of capturing life as it was. That's how photorealism started. Yeah. It was a battle between someone in this machine and someone painting still life. Yeah. And so they started doing photorealistic things, right? Yeah. And then the battle came back the other way and they were like, see, we can create photorealism, but you can't create abstract art. Right. Well, that's when photographers started using things like slow shutter speeds and manipulation and moving a camera when the shutter's open. Then they were like, oh, by doing that, they discovered video. Right. So it's this constant pretty fun battle back and forth. And so in order to sustain and in order to overcome, one of the things to do is stay well informed, be rooted in your ability and in your creativity. Because as you said, your creative eye, your unique experience, your knowledge, your talent, your creativity, all of that goes into being able to create something that a machine can't do. That is correct. All right. So I have a challenge for the audience. Because we are a little off of typical topic. Yeah. I'm digging in. I'm all the way in, learning how to use AI, researching the things about it that are, ethical considerations, legal regulation, all that kind of stuff. It can be very expensive if you're not careful. You and I are talking about it a lot. So the question is if this episode landed for you, if AI is something that you're either interested in, concerned about, whatever the case is, you need to let us know. Yeah. So you can comment on the YouTube channel. You can send us a direct message. You can send us an email. Like all that information is in the show notes. If we don't know, we'll bring in somebody who knows. Yeah. Yeah. If we don't have the answer, we'll find the answer. But I feel like the world right now is talking about AI.
Of course.
I think that there's a lot of folks out there that don't know where to start. And so I want them to start here. So we just need to know if you're interested, if this was engaging, if you want more of it, what questions do you have? And well, if we don't have the answers,
what is this about copyright?
Right. What do I need to do? Do I need to put that?
What does that mean in AI? So
it's a whole new ballgame.
it is. Yeah.
So let us know.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Is that a wrap?
Yes, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
You're creative, you're knowledgeable, and you've got all the experience and professional gear you'll need.
It's time to leverage it all in a whole new market full of loyal clients.
Remember, it's not about more, it's about different and better.
Hit subscribe, leave us a review, so other creatives can find their way to us on Hocus Focus.
Join us next week for more magic behind your wildly successful studio.
I'm Don.
I'm Emily.
Thanks for listening.